හරිම සුමුදුයි.
Tonight on First at 9 this Friday the 27th of October 2023. New country, new economy. President Ranil Wickremesinghe calls on all parliamentarians to unite to build a new country. Cleaning the mess. Medicine procurement process will be streamlined, assures the health minister. Demonstrations. Tear gas and water cannons fired at protesting medical students. Teachers demand solutions through budget 2024. Petar fire. Fire breaks out injuring 20 people. 6 receiving treatment at the intensive care unit.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
This is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to AdaDerana First at 9. I'm AdaDerana Singh joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Now in your top story tonight, President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlights the importance of building a new country with a new economy and a political system that suits the future of the youth. Addressing an event at Royal College, Colombo, the head of state said that the Minister of Education is drafting plans on how the education system in the country should change to suit the needs of the present and the future. Speaking further, President Wickremesinghe called on all parliamentarians to unite in order to build a new country by setting aside all political differences.
An event to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the establishment of Royal College, Colombo at Reed Avenue was held this morning under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe.
What are we going to do? And how will you contribute to the future of Sri Lanka? The world is changing, education is changing, we are changing. I have had long discussions with Mr. Susil Premajayanta, Minister of Education. We are drawing plans how education should change and change radically. So we have got to think of a new type of school management, new type of education system and a new type of school management, which we will be starting, increasing our university education. I won't deal with it here, but certainly the minister will come out with all his plans in time to come. So that's what we are. Then when we started in 1835, we were the only school. We could say for a long time we are the school, but there are other schools today. I think there are about 50 to 100 good schools which are competing. All those 100 schools are producing students which can easily compare with the best in England. Our A-level is tougher than the London A-level, which most of you know. But when you treat for the London A-level, much easier. So we are having a cream of a group of this in these 100 schools also, 100 plus or minus. And that we have to develop as the future. Look into the new technologies, look into the new sciences, look into the climate change, how we are functioning. So that is one part. The second part, of course, is the country. We have also come to a turning point. We can no longer go with the old system. It's a crisis of the old order and the old order is collapsed. We can't go back to that, whether it be economics, whether it be education, whether it be politics. We have to build something anew. Look at the future. The country you all want, not the country we had. Look at a new country, a new economy, a new political system, everything. The country meant for you all, not for us. And let us get together all and build that new country together. We should not fail. And I'd like to ask all my colleagues in Parliament, let's get together and work whatever be our political differences. There has to be political differences in a multi-party democracy. Let's all get together and build that country.
Now moving on to the health sector, newly appointed Minister of Health Dr. Ramesh Pathurana claims steps will be taken to streamline the medical procurement process, which suffered due to the lack of sufficient funds to purchase medicine. Addressing a media briefing today, the health minister said he expects the difficulties in the health sector to iron out from the beginning of next year, following a decent allocation of funds to the health sector from the new budget.
On health sector, Minister, what's the basic idea you have got while talking to the people, and what's your plan to clean up the mess up?
Since of late, we have been coming out with issues pertaining to the purchasing and supply of good quality medicines to the people of the country. So that's the primary concern of ours. We are addressing that issue. We want to ensure that we provide good quality medicinal products to the people of the country without any shortages. We are trying to streamline the process of procurement and also the distribution to the country, but as you know, they had encountered issues because of the financial calamity, because governments didn't have sufficient funds at time to fund the purchasing of the medicine, so that's why they had to resort to other mechanisms like the credit lines. On such instances, what had happened was the regular suppliers, those who had the registered products for the country, they were not paid, so they have removed themselves from the supplying products to the Ministry of Health and the Medical Supplies Department. That's why at that time they had to resort to other mechanisms like going ahead purchasing drugs from the non-registered suppliers. Now we have stopped that one. Hopefully we should be able to provide the drugs continuously. I think these difficulties would be that much eased off from 2024 onwards. There is a decent budgetary allocation for next year. So from next year onwards we should be able to iron out these difficulties.
How much does the health sector owe suppliers at the moment?
As at now, in total outstanding amount is nearly 31 billion.
Now, meanwhile, the police fired tear gas and water cannons at medical students who were protesting on the streets of Colombo, urging the government to protect the country's free education system. During the protest, which was organized by the Medical Faculty Students Action Committee, its convener and few other members were taken into police custody.
The Medical Faculty Students Action Committee commenced a protest march from the Mahavali Centre in Colombo today, urging the government to not introduce substandard medical faculties which destroy the country's free education system. While the protesters were marching towards Nelumpokuna despite warnings by the police, steps were taken to fire tear gas and water cannons at them. Later, the protesters attempted to march towards the Mahavali Centre by reaching the main road through the Vihara Mahadevi Park. However, the police once again fired tear gas and water cannons at them. During the protest march, few protesters, including convener of the Medical Faculty Students Action Committee, were taken into police custody. The protesters dispersed later.
Now, in keeping with the theme of protests, the teachers and principals trade unions conducted demonstrations in front of schools today to express their objection over the firing of tear gas and water cannons by the police to disperse them while they were attempting to march towards the Ministry of Education last Tuesday. General Secretary of the Ceylon Teachers Union, Joseph Stalin, says their unions will launch a massive strike action if the government fails to address their demands through the upcoming budget.
On Tuesday, representatives of the teachers and principals trade unions launched a protest in Battaramulla demanding the government to fulfill several requests, including a solution to the existing salary anomalies. However, as the trade union members attempted to march towards the Ministry of Education, the police fired tear gas and water cannons at them. While expressing his regret following the incident, Minister of Education Dr. Susil Premajayantha said the trade union representatives will be given an opportunity to discuss the matter with him.
අපි අයවැයට යෝජනා කළා තියෙනවා මේ විෂමතාවයෙන් වත් කිරීම ගුරු විදුහල්පති පමණක් නෙවෙයි සසු සේවන් වලත් ඒ නිසාම ඇතිවලා තිබෙන විෂමතාවයන් පිළිබඳව අවධානය යොමු කළා තියෙනවා. දැන් මම හිටියා නම් මාත් එක්ක ඇවිල්ලා ඕක සාකච්ඡා කරලා යනවා. ඉතින් අවසානවකට මම හිටියෙත් නැහැ. ඉතින් කොහොමුණත් අපි අපේ කනගාටුව ප්‍රකාශ කළා. ඉතින් අපි ලබන සතියේදී මේ උත්ති සමිති නායකයව මුණ ගැහෙනවා.
Objecting the actions of the police, the teachers and principals launched a series of protests during the day today. Teachers in some schools taught students clad in black armbands. Following the closure of schools for the day, the principals and teachers conducted protests in front of schools.
කල්පනා කරනවා ඇති පාරට බහින ජනතාවට පීඩාව නිල කරමින් පහර දෙමින් ජනතාව මර්ධනය කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා නෑ. ඒක හිතලුවක් විතරයි. ජනපති වර තක්කඩි එළමෙන නොවැම්බර් 13 වෙනිදා අයවැයි මේවට විසඳුම් නොලැබෙනවා නම් අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම දැවැන්ත ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගන්නවා.
Now, meanwhile, in shocking news, a fire broke out earlier today at a clothing store in Petta, injuring 20 people, 6 of whom are currently receiving treatment at the intensive care unit of the National Hospital in Colombo. The police suspect that the fire rose following an attempt by the employees of the store to light an incense burner.
At around 9:30 a.m. today, a fire broke out at a clothing store in a 6-storied building on the 2nd Cross Street in Petta. Subsequently, steps were taken by the Colombo Fire Brigade to douse the fire by deploying 11 fire trucks and 45 personnel. While the fire dousing efforts were underway, steps were also taken to rescue the people trapped inside the building. A total of 20 people who suffered burns and respiratory difficulties due to the fire were admitted to the National Hospital in Colombo. Hospital sources confirmed that 6 people are currently receiving treatment at the intensive care unit. The fire was completely doused by the firefighters after a struggle of nearly 2 hours. According to the police, the fire erupted as a stock of diesel caught fire while the employees of the shop were attempting to light an incense burner at the premises. The fire then rapidly spread to an electricity generator, following which the fire broke out of control.
Now, meanwhile, Minister of Foreign Affairs President's Council Ali Sabri highlighted the importance of maintaining good relationships with both the nations in the East and the West, adding that Sri Lanka should continue to not be aligned to any of the major global camps. He made these comments while addressing an event in Colombo. Meanwhile, the director of the Asia and Oceania at the French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs says France sees Sri Lanka as an important partner in the Indo-Pacific and added that the French government will continue to work with Sri Lanka to further strengthen bilateral relations.
An event to launch a stamp to mark 75 years of diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka and France was held today at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Colombo.
Yesterday, our two ministries, that is the Foreign Ministry of Sri Lanka and the French side, successfully concluded the inaugural bilateral political consultations. This is the first time that in a formal manner, the two countries are engaging in bilateral discussions. We are expecting an exchange of high-level visits between the two countries in the early 2024 as well.
To us, to France, Sri Lanka is a very important partner in the Indo-Pacific. We share values together. We share also this common interest in security and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific. And we think that in the future, Sri Lanka will be more and more of a partner in the Indo-Pacific for France and the European Union. We are also keen to develop our ties on the global scene, especially on issues of common interest such as fighting against climate change, protecting biodiversity, and this has been identified as one of the main priorities for our two countries.
75 years of relationship between Sri Lanka and France. We consider it's a very important milestone. We consider furthering this relationship is very, very important for us. I think it's important Sri Lanka maintains very important relationship with both West and the East. We have always said we have refused to take sides and get into any camp. Our relationship is always based on mutual trust, respect, and dignity. So in that context, we attach a lot of importance to Europe and particularly to France.
Now for the latest developments related to the Colombo port city and other business news, join us on the other side of this short commercial break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now in your local business news, the Colombo Port City Economic Commission has approved the operation of 2 cryptocurrency exchanges at the Colombo Port City. This was revealed at the recent meeting of the Committee on Public Finance. In response, the Committee on Public Finance recommended the authorities to consult the central bank on cryptocurrency operations.
The Committee on Public Finance convened recently in Parliament under the patronage of its chairman, Dr. Harsha De Silva. During the meeting, discussions were conducted at length on 10 companies active in the Colombo Port City, and attention was drawn to several technical issues related to the signing of contracts by these companies. It was disclosed that these companies have entered into contracts under 3 methods. Accordingly, some companies signed contracts prior to the preparation of the port city, while some signed during the preparation of the port city, and the rest signed contracts subsequent to the preparation of the port city. The committee pointed out that this agreement was not made according to one system with any legal basis. As a result, the committee recommended the authorities to seek the Attorney General's opinion within 4 weeks and to inform the committee of the Attorney General's response. The committee chairman further pointed out that it is important to check the constructions carried out by these companies in the area. Further, the Committee on Public Finance was informed that the Port City Commission had given permission for the operation of 2 cryptocurrency exchanges. In response, the Committee on Public Finance recommended that they seek the consultation of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka regarding the matter.
Now, meanwhile, Sri Lankan shares closed higher today, snapping 3 straight sessions of losses, aided by financials and consumer staple stocks. The CSE All-Share Index settled at 1.45% higher at 10,689.5 but logged a 1.48% decline for the week. Lanka IOC PLC and LOLC Holdings PLC were the top gainers on the index, up 9.2% and 2.6% respectively. However, trading volume on the index fell to 28.3 million shares from 30.4 million shares in the previous session. The market turnover fell to 659.6 million rupees or $2.02 million US from 891.3 million rupees in the previous session. Foreign investors were net buyers, purchasing stocks worth 142 million rupees, while domestic investors were net sellers, offloading shares worth 606.5 million rupees. Now let's have a look at how the rupee traded against other major currencies during the day. Now, Territory Senior Partner of PwC Sri Lanka, Sujiva Mudalige, is retiring with effect from the 27th of October after serving the firm for over 25 years, leading domestic and international professional bodies and contributing his knowledge and guidance to key financial regulatory agencies. With that, let's take a look at tonight's edition of our corporate news segment.
PwC Sri Lanka announced today the retirement of its territory senior partner Sujiva Mudalige, effective from 27th of October 2023 after serving the firm for over 25 years. Earlier, the Sri Lankan firm of the PwC network had announced their decision to exit the network. The firm intends to join the Deloitte network with effect from 28th of October 2023. Sujiva Mudalige's distinguished career encompasses key leadership roles, including his tenure as a Commissioner of the Securities and Exchange Commission, past President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Accounting Standards Committee, past President of Confederation of Asia and Pacific Accountants, and many more. Daraz, a leading online marketplace in Sri Lanka and wider South Asia, announced its annual sale event 11/11 to be held from midnight on the 10th of November and will be live till the 17th of November. The 11/11 sale, also known as a single day sale, is a global shopping event that started in China and has now become an integral part of online shopping in other parts of the world, including South Asian markets like Sri Lanka, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. In the meantime, Demo, a diversified conglomerate in Sri Lanka, launched the country's first boat tractor, the Bison, through its agriculture firm Demo Agribusiness. The Bison boat tractor has the ability to perform deep puddling, making it ideal for marshy paddy fields where conventional land preparation methods often fall short. Depending on the field condition, farmers can reduce land preparation costs by 75% to 95% while saving 60% to 70% on time through this tractor.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of AdaDerana First at 9. Stay in touch with us on www.adaderana.lk for the latest developments around the clock. Thank you. Have a great night.
For news and information you can trust 24 hours a day, visit AdaDerana.lk.